Hello folks, welcome to today's video. This is going to be a standalone project where I build a magnetized welding spoon. Now a welding spoon is basically a piece of copper with a handle on it which you place on the underside of your sheet material that you're welding, and essentially it just allows for no blow through when you're trying to weld sheet material, making it far easier to weld up holes and gaps and crevices within your sheet material. Now the primary difference between what I'm going to do and what's typically on the market, and I'll just show you what's typically on the market, these welding spoons here with handles, is that you have to be able to hold the welding spoon in place while you weld. Now, as you can imagine, on a boat where you are dealing with really large sections of sheet material, you're not going to be able to reach to the other side and then place your welding spoon in place to then do some pad welding. Hence why I've decided to use a dial indicator stand here, which I bought, I think, for 15 quid off Amazon, which I thought was a bit of a steal. And I'm going to simply tap a hole in this, use some of this copper as a, put a thread on it, and then just use it as the grabbing point here. And then I can essentially attach this to any point in my hull, adjust it, and put it in place while I weld. So yeah, that's today's plan. I'll just get on with it. Okay folks, so I made proper hard work of that, but ultimately there is a M6 thread in there now. I did start off with M5 and I was like, this might be a bit too anemic, so yeah, just shoved an M6 in there. I'll give it a quick file if I can find a file, because most of my tools are at the boat. And then the next thing is we'll turn this down, get an M6 thread on it, and then all we have to do is turn it down to fit in that hole. Okay, so here we got my little lathe. We're going to turn this down, put a thread on it, and then turn it down to fit in the hole. I'll swap my 4-jaw for the collet, mainly because I don't know where my dial indicator is. Then we'll turn this down to size to fit into one of these holes, and put a M6 thread on the other side, chop it off, and that should be the components ready to put together. Okay, so I've got it in place here. We'll just do some turning. I've got this. Just shove that in. Lock it in place. It's not the ideal bit in truth, but this is pretty straightforward stuff, to be honest. So no point getting too uptight about it. Okay folks, so what I find even more annoying is I can't find any of my tools, including Allen keys, to swap out tooling for my little lathe, which is making this a bit of a hatchet job. It is what it is. I'll just keep going, bring it down to dimension, tap it, and then go from there. Okay folks, so as you can see, this just turns on. I mean, this is going to get weld splatter and all sorts plastered all over in due course. I'll just take that to the mill that down as my last sort of process. I'm tempted to put something on it. There's no point. I'll just budge it up nice and tight. The only other thing now is just to bring the copper down to size to fit snugly in here. So what I'll do is just get a drill bit of the right dimension. I really wish I had my calipers, but I just don't have anything here. I'll get a drill bit that is of the size that this fits, and then just match it up as I turn it down on the lathe. Okay, so it's 8mm. Okay folks, so as you can see it's nice and snug. I'll just cut that part off, and then we've got everything we need. Okay, so there we have it. That goes into here. I'll nip that up with a pair of pliers. This then goes onto here. This. Okay, so I'm really not that happy with this nut. Now, it's a pretty tight fit. Tighter at the end, obviously, because the spring pass doesn't cut in as deep. But even so, like, I can clamp it there, have a bit of movement, so I can take the thread from here. But I'm kind of tempted to tap this out and use this, which is, I think, an M4. And that'll allow me to clamp down nice and easy, whereas this thing doesn't. They're not the best at doing anything really. So yeah, I think I'll drill this out as well. Okay folks, so I'm just going to replace the stubby little screw that goes in here with this more beefy one, but this is a M6 and the other one I believe was an M4, which means I'm just going to tap another hole, quickly drill it with M5 and then go from there. Okay folks, so yeah, I've got that in there now. That gives me a nice clamp down ability, which I didn't have with the little screw. I'm much happier with that. Okay, so with the addition of this, I've turned another one of these. And let's just see if they go together. So this goes in here. And this, I'm going to do it the other way, should slot in here. It's too tight at the moment. The irony. Let's just get you in, and that should just clamp down, but we need to get it adjusted. So let's just get that a little bit snugger. Too snug. Okay, so that can sit in like so. Then I clamp down, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, that's good. That's nice and firm now. Okay, I've put a little bit of thread locker on there. What I'm going to do now is just mill off the top of this. Job done. Okay folks, I just realised how bad the lenses on this thing are scratched up, but I'll get some new lens covers. Just machine that flat. I think that's it, done. Okay folks, so that is the final item complete. So dial indicator stand, little nib, machine smooth. I've put on a decent handle to make it clamp down nice and quick. I'll probably do that to all my dial indicators in truth. And yeah, so if this was in the boat, I could use this, clamp it down, magnetize it to the hull, and then I just adjust, put the copper wherever I want the copper, hold it in place, and once it's in place I can weld, do pad welding above. So there you have it. What should we call it? A magnetic copper spoon for pad welding. I really need to get better at my YouTube titles.